Chapter 6. Under the Spell of Magic. Up the river in their canoe they paddled, happy and triumphant. But their happiness didn't last very long. Their excited talking gave way to long periods of silence. The mother startled as a little eddy rocked their canoe, and she gasped, "I'm afraid already." "Nay, fear not," answered her husband. "They think it is the spirits, and I have already helped by telling them to look down the river while I look up the river, and now we have our clever queen, and we have money. What is there to fear? Where shall we go?" "Ah, that too I have thought out. Is it not time to clear the jungle on the sides of the mountains for the next year's rice crop? Did not our rice die last year in the flood? But do the floods cover the hills? Then this year we shall clear a patch of jungle on the side of a hill, and when it is dry we will burn it, and in the ashes we will grow good rice which the floods cannot kill. And I shall take you and the babe to the hills and build for you a little hut right there. After many days and weeks, people will hear, but not quickly. And by that time the heart of Pretty Diamond's mother will be healed, and she will not want our clever queen any more." The mother nodded. "Your plans are good," she said simply, and taking up her paddle, helped to paddle the canoe upstream. But away back in the village from where the babe had been stolen, the mother without a baby still cried. Her husband had tried to comfort her, but it was no use. The searchers came back without any news, and at last, giving up hope, Pretty Diamond's mother cried out, "'Tis the work of the devils! 'Tis the work of the devils! Bring me the devil doctor! Go bring me the devil doctor!" It had been an exciting day, and now everyone crowded around. Mothers clutched their babies lest the spirits might steal them away too, and all waited anxiously to see if the devil doctor would come. But he had been called away to attend some other case in a village far away. It looked as if the crying and the screaming would start all over again, when old Grandma stepped forward. "What does it matter if the doctor is away?" she said. "Do we not also understand the customs of the spirits? And can we not also ask them for pity? And can we not also cast a spell and smite with magic? Bring me now some of the baby's clothes, and some of its food, and some of its water, and listen now to me." Then she scraped off a little bit of dirt from the clothes and put it in her hands, added a little of the baby's rice and a little water, and worked the mass around and around in the palms of her hands, muttering all the time and blowing on it occasionally. Then quickly putting it in her mouth and blowing it out with all of her force, she called out, "Go smite with sickness, go smite with sores. Go high, go low, go in, go out, go up, go down, go north, go south. From the water, from the desert, from the rice field, from the house. Bring back our clever queen." It all seemed very mystifying, and it seemed to bring some degree of comfort to the sorrowing mother. The village people grunted their approval and quickly dispersed. And soon frightened faces gathered around the different fireplaces, where in hushed tones they told and retold stories of the wrath of the devils. Up on the side of the mountain, as Clever Queen's father hastily cut his bamboos to build his little house, her mother tied a cotton blanket hammock-like between two little trees, and putting her baby in it, tried to swing her to sleep. But there was clearly something the matter. Clever Queen only cried and cried. She was over a year old now and had been living with her new mother for about 4 months. There she had had plenty of milk to drink, in addition to the rice she could now eat. But here on the mountainside, though she had her real mother, she had no milk, and she was not happy at all. In vain her mother tried to coax her to eat a little rice, a little banana. But no, she would do nothing but cry, 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 till at last, exhausted, she fell asleep. Hastily the mother put a few stones together and began to make a fire to cook the afternoon rice, and all this time the little bamboo hut was quickly taking shape. 9 little poles in 3 rows, about 4 feet apart, with forks about 4 feet from the ground, did not take long to place. Then, in the forks were tied 3 bamboos like rafters. Across these were placed about 50 other bamboos for the floor. Then 3 more bamboo poles tied to the top of the house posts, with the middle one about 8 feet above the floor and the 2 side ones about 2 feet above the floor, made the rafters for the roof. And soon it was all done, but tying the leaf thatch onto the roof bamboos. But this would take much time, as the leaves would have to be gathered and sewn on bamboo strips first. So for the first night, the father simply threw over the hut a few branches, and the house was ready. Before the rice was cooked, however, Clever Queen was awake and crying again. "I'm afraid her kaler is lost," moaned her mother. A kaler is what the jungle people call their spirits. "Yes, I'm afraid her kaler is lost," she repeated to her husband as he came to eat. "Before we go up into the house, you had better try to find it. Here, take a little offering, some rice, some tobacco, and do it now before the darkness comes upon us." Hastily splitting a bamboo into thin strips, the father wove a little basket to hold the offering and a larger one to catch the kaler. Then going into the jungle not far away, he hung the offering on a little tree and called out, "Come back, kaler, come back. Come back, kaler, come back. Kaler, kaler, can't you find the way? Over here, over there. Kaler, kaler. Come up from the village, come up from the river. Come right up the hill, up here on the hill. Come back, kaler, come back." Then, as if imagining the spirit had heard him, he danced around here and there, sweeping through the air with his basket, behind this tree, behind that one, now running here, now dodging there, as if he were playing tag with some unseen friend. Then, hastily closing his basket after one mighty swoop, he cried out triumphantly, "Here it is! I've got it!" and ran back to his hut. The mother, smiling, caught up her babe in her arms. "It's all right now. It's all right now, my Clever Queen," she said. "Your kaler has come back. Come, father has it in the basket. Let us go into the house." And saying this, she followed her husband up the ladder into the hut. But kaler or no kaler, the baby kept on crying, sleeping only in snatches through the night. And often through the night the mother whispered to her husband, "I'm afraid, I'm afraid, I'm afraid that Pretty Diamond's mother has cursed us. See how the little one starts and cries?" "Nay, fear not. Is she not ours?" the husband replied. He tried to make his voice sound brave, but it trembled, and instead of comforting his wife, he made her feel all the more fearful. "But look! Listen! It is! It is! See that movement in her little stomach? Look at her half-closed eyes. Husband, it is! It is! We are cursed!" his wife replied. And believe it or not, the next day Clever Queen was very sick with a high fever. For 3 days she was sick, and the fear of the parents grew until they were both so terrified that they jumped and started even at the ordinary sounds of the forest. Then sores broke out on the little one's leg, and in spite of the parents spitting on leaves and sticking the leaves on the sores, which is the recognized jungle way of treating all sores, the sores spread and got bigger and bigger until the little baby was in terrible condition. "Oh, husband," moaned the mother, "it's no use. We are cursed. We are cursed. And here in the jungle, with no pigs or chickens to sacrifice, what hope have we of fighting off the curse? Let us be going." "Let us be going where?" answered the husband. "If we go to the village, they will find us. If we go further into the jungle, it will be worse. If we stay here, she'll die. Tell me, where shall we go? I am ready to take you anywhere." "Husband," she said, "there is only one thing we can do. It has come to me in my dreams. Even the birds, as they sing, seem to say it. Take her back, they say. We must take her back." Darkness came down over the hillside that night and into the little bamboo hut where the mother sat crying with her sick babe in her arms, and found them all ready to start on another journey in the morning. You cannot imagine the fear of those who worship devils. I don't believe in magic or curses, nor do you. I've seen many things in my dispensary which they said were the result of magic, but I know them to be only symptoms of sickness and disease. But it doesn't matter what you and I think and know. The devil worshippers do believe in magic, and it does seem to have a great power over them. But I want to tell you that the name of Jesus and the presence of the holy angels are much more powerful than that of the devils. I've lived in the jungle for 20 years, and I have never been troubled with any curse or magic. And I am glad to say that no matter how much trouble the devil worshippers may have had in the past, when they become Christians, they too are freed from the power and the fear of the devils.